So hi all, if you have not done peer review before and since so less time is left in your exams, you can only cover this much. As peer review is also an important chapter, so don't completely leave it, at least cover this much. So without wasting any time, let's start. So we'll start with peer review. This is the highlights from ICAI study material. For your basic understanding, you can see that the peer means person of similar standing. Review means conduct of re-examination, that is checking something or re-examining something. Then if we come down to the next page, the definition is important, that is peer review means an examination and review of the systems and procedures to determine whether the same have been put in place by the practice unit for ensuring the quality of assurance services as envisaged by the technical, professional and ethical standards as applicable, including other regulatory requirements thereto, and whether the same were consistently applied during the period under review. So this complete you have to learn. Just do the ratification of this. Here, as you can see, technical, professional and ethical standards. In this chapter, everywhere you will find these three words. So while revising, you can revise as TPS, so that it will be very familiar and easy to revise. That is TPS. T for technical, P for professional and S for standards. So technical, professional and ethical standards. Everywhere these three words will come. Now, who is a reviewer? Reviewer means a member who is duly approved, that is who will review. For reviewing your work, he needs to be approved. So reviewer means a member who is duly approved and impaneled. Approved by whom? By the board. And reviewer, for becoming a reviewer you need to fulfill some qualifications that is given for reviewer. So without being qualified you can't become a reviewer, right? Now who is practice unit of which the peer review is being conducted? That is a firm of chartered accountants or a member in practice, whether he is practicing in individual name or whatever be it. So practice unit means that who is being peer reviewed. Now we come down to objectives of peer review. So this is the objectives of peer review. This is also you have to learn this. Objective is very easy, only 2 points are given, that also small points. What is the objectives of? Now this is the objectives of peer review. You have to first comply with TPS. Right now we saw that these three words will come again and again. So what is this? TPS, technical, professional and ethical standards. So what we have to do? We have to comply with the TPS and regulatory requirements also. Now regulatory requirements is something related to the law and regulations, so everywhere this needs to be complied. So this was the basic point. Now the second objective is that it should have in place proper systems including documentation, that is properly documentation and all should be done. Then we will see, this is the basic point, like these two were the objectives, but seeing the objectives, what crux we derived? We saw that thus the primary objective of peer review is not to find out the deficiencies. That means when you re-examine something or when you check a paper, here the purpose is not to find the fault in that. If you are checking something, they are telling the objective of peer review is not to find some fault or deficiencies, but to improve the quality. Their purpose is just why the peer review is conducted, so that after conducting peer review they can help in improving the quality of services. Okay, so now we will come to scope of peer review. In scope of peer review also you have to learn. See, very easy points are there. Here is compliance. Again in fifth point is compliance. Then in sixth point is compliance. That means compliance. Now we'll see 3 points compliance deals with which one. Here is again TPS, as I told you, technical, professional and ethical standards. So one compliance will go for TPS. Next compliance will go for directions or guidelines issued by council. See, till here it will be same in both the points. Compliance with what we have to comply the directions and guidelines issued by the council, but issued to whom? In one point they are talking about the guidelines issued by council to the members, but in second point they are talking about the guidelines issued to the articled assistants. So here in one point guidelines issued to the members, and in next guidelines issued to the articles. So now you can easily remember the 3 points on compliance. Now the remaining 3 points you have to remember. So this is quality of reporting, that is you can learn the keyword, a memory trick, R for reporting. Then for systems and procedures you can do S. So from reporting it was R. For systems and procedure you can remember from S. For training programs you can remember from T. So it is RST, and here it was compliance. So this will be RST key compliance. You can remember it this way, that is GST key compliance, but here it will be RST key compliance. So you can easily remember all the 6 points. If we revise, from R it will be reporting, from S systems and procedures, from T training programs for staff, and from compliance we saw 3 points. Compliance of TPS. TPS is technical, professional and ethical standards, and compliance of guidelines issued to members, compliance of guidelines issued to articles. Now we will see that it aims to confine the scope of review to preceding 3 years. That is, if they check for the previous 3 years, then they will come to know whether the consistency is there or not in the procedures that they are following. Now we have to also see one question, that is TPS means. Now from that time we were saying everywhere these three words are coming. So what does these 3 words mean, or what does these 3 words comprise of? So the technical, professional and ethical standards, that is TPS, means these 6 points are there that you have to learn. So it is very easy. One is the AS, that is issued by ICAI. So accounting standards you have already studied in accounts, so it is very easy to recall. Accounting standards issued by ICAI. Now again there is accounting standards, that is AS, but this time which is prescribed under section 133 of Companies Act. So this one also you can easily remember because you have already studied Companies Act 2013 in CA Foundation. Now this is Indian accounting standards. So basically it's almost talking about the standards and the guidelines. So here also it was accounting standards, here also accounting standards, here is also accounting standards. Now this will be QCS, engagement and quality control standards. So this is again standards, this is again standards on internal audit. Now there is guidelines, notification statements, guidance notes, all are auditing terms. Now framework for PPFS, that is this is PPFS, preparation, presentation of financial statements, preparation and presentation of financial statements, PPFS. So this framework also it will comprise now provisions of the relevant statute. So these 6 points you can easily recall for TPS. Now this also a direct question comes, that what will not be included in assurance engagement, that is assurance engagement does not include. So this also we can do easily with the help of memory trick. So management consultancy engagements you can remember from M, representation you can remember from R, engagements to prepare tax returns, so it is related to taxation, so T, compilation of financial statements, C, assist the client in preparing, that is assist you can remember from the word assist, that means helping in the client in preparing and compiling, FS. So you can remember from A. As an expert witness you can remember from E for expert or W for witness. Then expert opinion you can remember O. Due diligence you can remember D. So also if you want to remember few points also, you can easily remember. See, D O C T R, this will become doctor. So from D you can remember due diligence, O you can remember audit opinion, expert opinion, which was in this point, expert opinion. From C you can remember this one point, compilation of FS. From T you can remember taxation matters, tax returns. From R, this O will not be there. From R you can remember representation before various authorities. So likewise from memory trick you can learn. So memory trick will be doctor. Now the applicability is important. You'll have to learn this level 1, level 2. So you'll have to learn this complete applicability. Periodicity of peer review, that is level 1 practice units is required once in 3 years, and level 2 practice units obviously more time will be there in level 2, so once in 4 years. Now peer review board, very easy, you have to just remember the data, that is not less than 50%. Then here it will be rotated every year. The chairman and vice chairman are to be rotated every year. Then you have to remember that casual vacancies shall be filled by the council, that is shall not be a member of the board. Meeting requirement, you have to learn that at least one meeting every quarter. Then eligibility, you will have to remember. Eligibility is a kind of qualifications only. So what are the qualifications of a peer reviewer? This complete you will learn. Then a qualified assistant, you can understand that someone who helps is known as assistant. So the reviewer can take the help of a qualified assistant while carrying out peer review, and the qualified assistant should also be qualified and not disqualified. Now confidentiality they have to maintain, and if they don't maintain the secrecy provisions, that is the non-compliance with the secrecy provisions shall amount to professional misconduct, that is under section 22. So this will go in professional ethics chapter. Now approach of the reviewer, just you can see a summary, you can read it on your own. Obligations of, there are two obligations of practice unit and obligations of peer review. In past sometimes it has come also, you can just go through this. Then the process is important. Process is all about the timelines. So the first process will be the selection. First you have to select of whom peer review process, of whom the peer review is to be conducted. So we will select the practice unit and appointment of reviewer accordingly. Then we'll do the planning, then we'll execute it, and then we'll finally do the reporting. So you have to learn this selection. You have to basically not memorize it but understand the process and learn the process. So first the PO will be selected, then the reviewer will be appointed, then everywhere the days will be, number of days will be mentioned. Basically many a times 7 days will come. So see here also, the PU shall select one out of the 3 reviewers. 3 reviewers will be nominated and then one will be selected and is to be intimated to the board within 7 days of the receipt of name. So here also 7 days came in picture. So likewise for MCQ also this number of days is important. So you have to see wherever the number of days is given, you have to learn that. Then is the planning. See here also it is 7 days. Then here it is 60 days. Then comes the execution part. Again here it is coming 7 working days. Then this compliance you have to remember. This is very easy, small points. Independence, maintenance of professional skills, consultation. Then there is staff recruitment, supervision and development. So this will go D. Office administration will go O. So the memory code is DISCO. With this you can easily remember the compliance review general controls. Now review of records. Then there is reporting. Reporting is the last step. In reporting also you will see the peer review report of reviewer is given. Now peer review certificate, after the report the certificate will be issued. The board shall within the 3 months issue a certificate, and in that certificate the validity period of the certificate will also be mentioned. Then have to inform the practice unit that in case the certificate cannot be issued, then we have to inform it. Then the validity also, you can just go through it, you can read it. If it has expired, then it cannot continue with the expiring certificate. That's it. Difference is very easy. So the difference part is very easy. In difference between peer review and quality review, you will see the direct differences, that is, see, the peer review is done, peer review and quality review difference. In peer review, it is done for the purpose of testing the effectiveness of the procedures. We just have to check how effective it is, whether it is 50% effective or 70% effective. And it is not to find the faults. This line we read above also, that its objective, in the objective para we saw that its objective is not to find the deficiencies, but just to improving the quality of the service. If I'll show you here also. See, in objectives here it was given. Thus, the objective is not to find the deficiencies but to improve the quality of services. Likewise, here also in the last page it is given, not to find the faults but to improve the quality of service. But here the objective of quality review is different. Here it is just opposite. It is to find the deficiencies, to find the errors. And if any error is committed by the auditor while conducting the audit and serious errors detected, will lead to the disciplinary action. So this was the first point of difference. Now what is the second point of difference? See, the peer review is a part of activities of ICAI, but the quality review board, that is QRB, is constituted by the central government and is not a part of ICAI, that is independent of ICAI. So this was the second point of difference. I hope you all liked the video. Please share this with your friends who are giving the exams, and do subscribe the channel.